Thornhill.
Thank you very much, Speaker. And my question is for the Premier. Premier, for nearly a year, you have told Ontarians we are recovering from the global recession, made excuses for ballooning spending, and you've defended increasing the size of your government, but you aren't fooling anyone. We have been telling you for the past 8 years that real change is needed to get Ontario back on a strong economic footing. Our party has made a series of recommendations that would help you put your house in order and stimulate the economy. You invited that, encouraged it. We have 3 days left before winter break. Premier, when will you finally put your money where your mouth is and take some constructive action to get Ontario out of the mess you've gotten our province into?
Premier.
Speaker, I'm pleased to take the question from my honourable colleague. We are all ears when it comes to good proposals that will serve to strengthen our economy, create jobs, and do so in a way that does not compromise our highest priorities on behalf of families, which are their schools and their health care. Having said that, Speaker, there are a number of, in fact, there are 2 specific practical initiatives before this legislature. One is our Healthy Homes Renovation Tax Credit. We hear, Speaker, that we know that will create some 10,000 jobs on an annual basis. It will create $800 million in economic wealth every single year. That's a practical matter before this legislature, and I'd ask, and in fact I would encourage my honourable colleague and his colleagues to support this very specific practical measure in this legislature.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Premier, since the election in October, you have claimed to be open to input from this side of the House. The reality is you and your caucus shoot down everything that is not Liberal. In debate last week, the member from Oakville told me your party had won, period. Since you are not willing to listen to the PC caucus, listen to those who, unlike your government, are creating jobs in Ontario. The Ontario Chamber of Commerce represents 60,000 businesses and has made 4 recommendations to reduce government spending, including restraining public sector salaries. Speaker, since the Premier and his government refused to listen to the PC caucus, will they listen to Ontario's business community and finally put an end to their preferential treatment of government employee unions at the taxpayers' expense?
Premier.
Speaker, we're very open to any suggestions for the budget that we will present in this House next year. But on the matter of wage restraint, I think it's important to understand what the facts are. We froze pay for 2 years for the non-union sector. And since our last budget, Speaker, let's take a look at what's happened to wage settlements elsewhere. Our wage settlements have averaged 1.5%. The private sector in Ontario, 1.9%. The federal public sector, my colleagues' cousins in Ottawa, Speaker, 1.7%. So, in fact, the method that we have adopted is securing the lowest wage increases, the lowest settlements in Ontario, Speaker.
Order.
So I would encourage my honourable colleague to take that into account, and of course we are very much interested in what he has to say, as well as the Chamber of Commerce.
Final supplementary.
Speaker, Ontario's business community urging the government to rein in spending on government salaries should come as no surprise. Our party has repeatedly recommended that to this Premier and to this Finance Minister, and clearly this government has no intention of listening to the opposition or to Ontario's business community, and has no intention of cutting spending and stopping the increase in public sector salaries. If they are unwilling to listen to us or to organizations like the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, one can only wonder who this government is listening to. Maybe it's the unions, whose members earn 27% more than Ontarians doing the same work as in the private sector. Would the Premier be listening to us if he were paying us a consulting fee?
Premier.
Speaker, on a serious note, Speaker, I think it's important for us to take just a moment. I know these are challenging times. The global economy is characterized by tremendous uncertainty. But just last week, Speaker, the end of last week, we learned that in Ontario, in the month of November, full-time employment increased by 31,800 jobs, Speaker.
35 jobs an hour.
The unemployment rate has dropped 0.2 percentage points to 7.9%, Speaker. We are now up 283,400 net jobs above the recessionary low in May 2009, Speaker. We're recovering more than half of the new jobs in the country, Speaker. I think that's some indication that we are, in fact, on the right track here in Ontario.
New question.